Hi YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. One of my handful of subscribers, Amitule or Amitule, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, has asked me specifically to compare the Guerlain Silk Shimmer that I've talked about recently in a couple of my videos with the Guerlain Terracotta Sun in the City, because she was interested to see how they compare. And I'm happy to do that because I do have Sun in the City. Sun in the City was released by Guerlain several years ago, at least 2012, and maybe a little earlier than that. I can remember buying it at Heathrow Airport when I was going on holiday, but I believe they still make it. In my opinion, it is nothing like Guerlain's new silk powder that I've been talking about, so I'll say that from the outset. Here is Sun in the City. It's a whacking great compact, and you can see, although I've had it several years and I do use it quite a bit in the summer, I've barely made any impression, even on the engraved overlay. It's a real gold highlighter. That's showing pretty good on my monitor, pretty lifelike, maybe a bit warmer in real life, but you can see it's a very, very vivid, pure gold shimmer, and there's lots of pigment in it. I use this purely as a highlighter on cheek, maybe brow bone in really sunny weather, or as something with a party makeup. And I guess showing you with a fluffy brush, difficult to pick up, but there you can see, you know, it's quite a bold highlighting look, and with a stiffer kind of kabuki brush you can again see the build up. It's very prominent, and it wouldn't be for everyone. Really nice if you've got a tan. I wouldn't wear it on any occasion brushed all over my face. It's very much a highlighting glow product to my way of thinking. So a very nice product, but that's how I use it. Now the newer Guerlain Poudre de Soie, what do they call it? Illuminating Powder Silk Shimmer, is sold as a highlighter, and Amitule was saying that Selfridges had told her that that was how it should be used. Now I've said, and I do, use it all over my face with a soft brush. First of all, I think if you do a basic swatch, you can see there, it's got a more pearlized, pinky, rose gold type sheen, but it's definitely more subtle than the gold. So, you know, it's pretty obvious as a highlighter, but definitely more subtle. And with a soft brush, even with quite a good swirl, I don't know if you can see, it just gives a very subtle, I think, sheen. A bit like the Guerlain Meteorites, to be honest, just a bit of a stronger look than that. So I can use it all over my face as a finishing powder because I like quite a dewy, glowy look. So I would use this with a dense brush or with fingers over cheekbones as a highlighter, brow bone, but I can definitely use it all over the face, and that's how I have been using it. I think in those terms, in effect, it's most similar to the MAC Minerlaise skin finishes. I've got one here, Soft and Gentle, which I think they still make. It's in the permanent kind of range. Now the texture of the two is very different. The MAC Minerlaise is a far grittier sounds wrong. It isn't gritty, but it isn't as finely milled as the Guerlain one. It's cheaper. But the actual look, again, I think is more nuanced with the Guerlain one. But spread over the face with a soft brush, they give a very, very similar effect. So this is a cheaper alternative if you just want to use something to give a glow all over the face. And I don't think the effect is sufficiently different to justify necessarily the price differential, because these I think are about £24. Oh, I can't even remember what I paid for this, but it was a lot more than that. However, as a highlighter, this one is much more effective, and it's just much prettier, just a nicer product to use. You know, whether that's worth the extra money to you is up to you to decide. So for overall effect, if you're using it all over the face, very similar to the MAC Mineralized, in my opinion. Of Guerlain products, since I've been asked specifically about comparing it with Sun in the City, and I don't think, as I've said, the two are alike. Much more alike is another famous Guerlain highlighter, soft powder from the past, and that's Cruel Gardenia. Again, not in production now, but you can get it from time to time on eBay and resale sites. So I've shown the two, I think, side by side before. Very similar. This is more rose gold. This is pinkier. But the actual consistency, the presentation of the pots and the engraving and so forth, they're very, very similar indeed. So I would say that if you missed out on Cruel Gardenia, which was a very popular product from Guerlain, and you can get your hands on this one, then you might want to do that, because I find them similar. I don't wear this one very often as an all-over glow. It's a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. I think if I had to choose just one highlighter that I could have, I would go with Cruel Gardenia. But they're very, very similar. This is just a bit warmer. This is cooler, slightly more pigmented, but not a lot in it. So, you know, I love highlighters. That's how I justify having quite a number in my collection. And this one I have found quite versatile, much more versatile than the Sun in the City. Now, I would say to you, if you are still thinking about this one, although I did post 10 days ago, a week ago, it showed briefly on the Selfridges website but sold out, and I was in Selfridges on Thursday evening and I did visit the Guerlain counter and they said it was sold out there, so it may be it's too late, although it probably will show up at some stage on some of the American sites that sell high-end products the season after they've been produced. I use one called Izzies, for example, that you can Google. It's not on there yet, but that was where I got my Cruel Gardenia from sometime afterwards, so worth looking out on that site. I'm sure this one will turn up at some point on there, and there are other ones, certainly in the United States. I don't know about elsewhere. So while we're here on the Guerlain powders, I will show you one new one. I went back, that was why I was in Selfridges on Thursday evening. I gave in with the Meteorites Travel Compact. They're doing in 3 shades. This is the medium. For some reason, these are a lot cheaper than their usual travel compacts. I guess they're smaller, but they're plenty big enough for me. They're not cheap, still £40, I think, but the usual ones seem to retail at about £90, £100. I did that for a long time about getting this because I really don't need another one, but I do love the Meteorites, and I haven't got any travel compacts. I've got them all in the screw top boxes, which and the little balls, which are very pretty on your dressing table, but a lot more awkward to use than this. My fingers, I really need to wash my hands, but you know, this is the all over much more subtle, not shiny, but just slightly iridescent to give you a glow. This is pretty light, even though it's the medium. I think it was the right one for me. So I've only used it on yesterday, so I can't really give much report about it, but liking it so far, and they've still got these from the spring collection. So I hope that helps, and I will shut up now about the famous Guerlain Poudre de Soie and look at some other products. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.